Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser. I'm here today to welcome you to the Poseverse. It's Monday, so you know what that means. Today we're going to talk about the top 5-ish new comics from last week's New Comic Book Day. So if you want to pick them up on this week's New Comic Book Day, you know which good books that you might have missed out on. And figure it out, y'all check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Two quick announcements. Number one, thank you to the folks on the Sunday Night Shenanigans auction for holding the fort down last night. I got tied up in some family stuff, could not make it. It happens to the best of us. We all got to worry about family first, so thank you everybody, I appreciate you. Number two, don't forget to check out episode number 4 of Shop Talk this Thursday night at 9:30 Central here in the Poseverse. I'll drop a link to the past couple of issues or episodes or the playlist. You can also find a link in the description below to check it out on most of your favorite podcast procuring places, but we're going to talk about this week in books, whatever KM wants to talk about, whatever AIM wants to talk about, whatever we get into, because we are chopping it up in the shop like the good old pre-COVID days. I won't be there because I will be coming home way late from parent-teacher conferences, but you better know I'll be active in the chat, and I might show up in the tail end, but I'm going to see what everybody does without me. I know they're going to crush it. We'll go ahead and go with announcement number 3. Last week at the end of Shop Talk, we gave away our 1100 sub giveaway to a good friend of the channel, Average Will. He got a $100 plus in value mystery box of all kinds of goodies, so hopefully we'll see some footage of his reaction. Our next goal is 1250. When we get there, we are going to give away the Blacklight Spider-Man Pop Tea combo. So when we get closer and closer to that benchmark, we will be, highlighting some places where you can enter the giveaway, things you can do to get bonus entries. We might give away some additional prizes, but that's our next goal. Thank you everybody so much for the support to this point. So, without any further gilding of the lily, let's talk last week's books. I went for 6 books this week. Your honorable mention from Valiant Comics is Ninjak number 4. This is by Jeff Parker, Ben Librel, and Javier Pulido on art. Andrew Dalhouse on colors, and Dave Sharp on the letters. This book is so good. Ninjak might be totally screwed. It's so good. We know that this is setting up what is about to happen in Harbinger in a week or two. Read it. Real good. Real good. Coming in at number 5 from Dark Horse Comics is May's book number 2. This is Everything Done by Jeff Lemire. I pretty much enjoyed issue number 1. It's about a man who is feeling an estranged relationship to his daughter and finally gets some clues that some things may be wrong throughout issue number 1. And I talked about this on Shop Talk on Thursday night, but I know there are some people who are put off by Lemire's art, but one of the things I really like about this book as you kind of progress through it is that the level of tension in the art really mirrors the level of tension of the main character as he's trying to figure out what, if anything, may be wrong with his daughter. I love the shift between the gray and the sepia tones to kind of show his level of presence in the moment. Oh, and then, oh man, when we get some of those light splashes of color in there, just those little bits of red thread to tell us that something may be happening. It's really intriguing. It's really compelling. I'm a fan of Jeff Lemire. That I don't know if I've been on anything of his that I've read where I've been like B-. That I really like watching him build this whole universe on his own. And I can't wait, especially after the last couple of pages, to find out what's up with our main characters and the fates they play and the twists and turns that they may have to follow in book number 3. Coming in at number 4 from Image Comics is Man-Eaters The Curse number 4. This is by Chelsea Kane, Liam Interneet, Kate Nemechek, Rochelle Rosenberg, Joe Caramiaga, on letters and a couple of badass young female poets in the backhand. So we've learned in the first couple of issues of this book that craft camp is witchcraft camp, that the young man who has been sent there has no idea what's going on, and he is with Maud, who is an expert in all forms of, a lot of transmutation, basically. And in the previous issue, she saved a lot of smaller campers, or a lot of the younger campers who may have been affected by a transmutation spell. And I really like how the young man in the football helmet gets compared to a lot of things in here. And there are two sets of panels in here that are absolutely some of my favorite, especially in the entirety of the Man-Eaters universe. And I read this on Saturday when I was with one of my favorite debate teams to travel with, and it's two young women who one of them will trade comics back and forth. But after that explanation of transmutation, you have young football helmet boy who's like, wait, so basically I'm a pawn of the patriarchy and I'm meant to maintain it? And our main character just kind of brushes it off. And then the other thing that I really like that adds some absurdity to the story, when Maud is able to literally find everything that she needs in seemingly no clothing. I love the ad for the witchcraft, booty shorts. But another great issue, looking at the threat of what's going on the island. The goal is to get some reagents for a transmutation spell. We run into one of the first nemesis that they learn to battle. I think it's at year 2 of craft camp. And again, the back matter in this book are the things that I love. It's a placement chart for all the different kinds of badges they can learn in different years. Here you get the, usual lunch menu. And then, again, I love looking at the very last page or couple of pages where you're getting some poems from teenagers that it's inspiring, again, to see the impact that a lot of these young women can have from, a mid-major, almost big 2.5, whatever you want to call image. That I love that the creative team is constantly using page space for the young female talent of the world in their book. But my absolute favorite thing, and what makes me want to pick up more copies of The Curse number 4, I want to be able to make a lot of these voodoo dolls or have them around my room. Since I teach and, work with a lot of young women who've got to fight the patriarchy. So let's bring that shit down with voodoo dolls, although a lot of that stuff terrifyingly looks like me. But if all those extra pokes and prods works maybe in an acupuncture function, it might fix my old ass back. Coming in at number 3 from DC Comics, Blue and Gold number 3. Y'all know I love Booster Gold. I'm sad that I get excited a week or two ahead of time for this book come out, and we get a first appearance in this book of Buggles. What's Buggles, you may be asking? Basically, imagine if Skeets could blow shit up. And that's what a Buggles is. If he could blow shit up, if he could transport them through time. Buggles. I like this book. I like the, again, I like what Dan Jurgens does on Booster Gold. That I have a couple of his signed books from the, early 2000s, mid-2000s run on the title. I like the reveal that Blue Beetle finally gives to him in this book that, dog, we're broke. I love the social media commentary throughout. There are so many things happening in this book that just makes me love it as a Booster Gold fan, as somebody who needs a lot of humor in their week, both with and, without reading comics. It's a good pleasure read, so I very much appreciate that. So Dan Jurgens and the rest of the team, thank you for doing one of my favorite characters justice. Coming in at number 2 from AWA Upshot Studios is Telepaths number 2. This is written by J. Michael Straczynski with Steve Epting and Brian Reaver on art, colors, and letters. I enjoyed book 1 when it came out. So unlike the Resistance Year Zero Moths style of books that we're seeing, that's all based off of The disease and disease resistance is what caused these powers. In telepaths, there's a super powerful solar flare that literally shuts down not just the grid around the world, but shuts down the human brain around the world. And then you have people who kind of come to, after everything reboots, all the systems that aren't fried come back to, and they learn that they can hear voices all over the place. And in telepaths, we are learning the pathways of 3 or 4 different people in terms of how they want to use their powers. We have an aide to the president. We have some now recently freed ex-cons. We have, I think it's an FBI agent. We have a couple of people who are going to use their newfound powers to benefit themselves or society in a couple of different ways. And there's a very good kind of thread throughout here in terms of, we're all afraid of having our identity hacked, all the things that we have on our computer, our bank accounts, all of our electronic data hacked. But we keep things in here that tend to be safe from, any kind of Wi-Fi signal or hardwired connection to the internets. But you have someone who can now telepathically get in there, and holy shit, will they cause all kinds of damage. So my goal is to now try and find some time to interview Straczynski. That starting to, this morning, Monday morning, now that I'm at school, during my planning period, I'm going to find all kinds of ways to see if I can hook up with Straczynski, to see if I can interview him, because I have loved every single AWA title that he has had his paws on. I have built my vision boards, conspiracy theory boards, all my boards, to try and see how all these weave together. And if Straczynski will talk to me or help wet my whistle, or just, help kind of string me along, I'm down. But this book is great. ETER, which also came out this week, is great. This is another book that my man White Pages talked about on Shop Talk this week that I was excited to read, but couldn't pick up my books until Friday after school, so goddamn. Straczynski, keep crushing it. Every title you touch at AWA Upshot, certified. So if I'm that excited to talk about telepaths, you may be asking, what in the hell is your top book of the week? And it's going to shock you. But it's Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man number 76 this week was so good. And again, it's written by Zeb Wells. The artist is Patrick Gleason. Mauricio Menez is on the colors. And Joe Caramagna is on the letters. Again, weekly book. We didn't talk about it this week on Shop Talk because I think Jelly and I are going to do a This Month in Spider-Man since it's a monthly release, but holy hell. We get a lot of depth in this one. In issue number 75, we find out that Peter Parker gets infected with radiation from, I can't remember the evil team's name. It's some kind of funny dad joke kind of thing. They're fighting the UFOs. U-FOES, UFOs, ha 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 ha. But I like this because we know that in addition to kind of Peter fighting for his life, it seems like his body is physically aware that there's another challenge coming from the radiation of that explosion, and he is dealing with that challenge. We get to see Aunt May go like full Karen with some of the medical professionals in terms of looking at his health. But also, what we didn't get in book 1 from Ben Reilly was a whole hell of a lot of empathy. And in this one, knowing what happens to Peter at the end of 75, we start to see some of that, and we get to see his relationship with the Beyond Corporation. So, I'm going to hesitantly say you should pick up this run, even if A, it's a monthly book, and B, we're only 2 issues in. But given what Zeb Wells and the team have done, and in issue number 75, we saw the different bits and pieces of what we could expect from the other stories that will pop up in this weekly book. Normally I would feel dirty saying ASM is the pick of the week over all of these other indie titles in Booster Gold, but I have faith. I have faith that Zeb Wells and everybody else who's touching this book is going to make Spider-Man great again. They're going to build a wall, and that wall is going to make us forget about what Nick Spencer did to this book. It's good. It's good. Jelly teased me all week going, "You read it, you read it, you read it." As soon as I read it, I went, yeah. So there's a good chance if you watch tomorrow's weekly pull video, when I get to ASM 76, I go, this might be the first book I read this week. Because it's good. They've done a good job of meeting. Like, if you love the Spencer book and the hype of the end of the Kindred arc, and you were like, how are they going to continue carrying this torch? I feel like they've done it justice. If you're someone like me who is like, I want to see what happens to Spider-Man after 74 issues of Nick Spencer, I feel like they do a good job lifting our spirits again. So if you are someone who is a Nick Spencer fan on the entirety of the Spider-Man run, you don't like this, hell yeah, let me know in the comments down below, and we will definitely invite you on to Shop Talk for the Counterpoint, because I know I'm on this, I know my shop owner Jason is on this, and I know that Jelly is also on this, and sorry, the Wall Street Journal just popped up on my computer, and there's a new Battle of the Alamo, and it all started with Phil Collins. So let me know what you think. If you are watching this live, I know you are letting me know over here in the live chat. If you are watching this on the rewind, then I know you are letting me know down here. Don't forget, on Tuesday we are dropping a pull list video. On Wednesday we are doing an unboxing of this month's Simpleman's Bounty Box and 616 Colors Tier Mystery Box, because I get both of them. On Thursday, I don't know, Thursday and Friday, you might see some pops. You might see Toby and I open some of the Marvel Battle Worlds game. You're going to see all kinds of stuff throughout the rest of the week. But don't forget, this Thursday night at 9:30 Central, you get Shop Talk with everybody who's not me, which means ratings will probably go up. Don't forget, this upcoming Sunday, you get our next Sunday night auction. Will it be Shenanigans? Will it be Shenanigans Plus? Who knows? But check us out. And as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.